Morpher is a platform that targets non-crypto users. So we wanted to have a wallet solution that has no friction, that basically feels like a regular Web 2.0 sign-up, but is essentially a Web 3.0 sign-up where you have your own wallet.
Hi, everyone. I'm Martin, aka Bold, from Block on Air, which is the community that brings developers together to talk to other developers about cool things happening in the blockchain space. Today, we're here with Thomas from Morpher, where he's going to share a little bit about what Morpher is and then what are some of the exciting developments going on that's creating new tools for developers. So, Thomas, can you tell us a little bit about what actually Morpher is?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Martin. Hi, everyone on the call. I'm Thomas, CTO at Morpher. And well, Morpher is actually a trading platform where you trade with smart contracts. It has therefore infinite liquidity and really cool stuff. We recently tried to go into the DeFi space. We have our own sidechain that is EVM compatible. And we also run our software on the Ethereum main chain. Yeah, today I actually don't want to talk directly about Morpher, the trading platform. I want to talk about something else, and that's the Morpher wallet that we developed over the past few months, and has helped us with user onboarding. And we made it open source, and we wanted to help others as well. And yeah, today I wanted to kind of walk you through the wallet a little bit from a developer's perspective, and wanted to show you how you get started with developing and what's behind the Morpher wallet and what were the ideas why we built it.
Excellent.
I would say then I go and share my screen over here. So I will look into that direction. And
All right.
yeah, so let me get started. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. Then I have a whopping 4 slides PowerPoint that I wanted to go through with you first. That kind of outlines why we built that wallet in the first place. Because we could have used any MetaMask or any other wallet solution out there, and we actually started with them, but we were not happy with what we had, so we improved it. So Morpher is a platform that primarily targets non-crypto users. So the people that are trading on Morpher are non-crypto savvy users. They not necessarily know what is a blockchain. They don't need to know what is a blockchain. They want to trade their stocks, their cryptos. They want to trade Forex, maybe commodities. They want to use leverage and those financial parts. But they don't necessarily know what is a private key. They don't know why they need to sign every single transaction and so on. So what we have at Morpher is we want to have all of those elements that you have in a normal wallet, those cool crypto things where you create your own private key, you're in possession of your own identity and so on. But we want to have it for non-crypto users. So people that don't know the background that we had in the last 6 years with Bitcoin and Ethereum and so on. So that was kind of the idea. So what is the Morpher wallet then? Where does it fit in? It's first of all a non-custodial wallet, which fits in line with most of the other wallets that we have out there where the user holds the keys. It's written in JavaScript. It's front-end facing. From a developer's perspective, it's fully customizable. Not only a little bit of CSS, but basically everything you can customize, including the workflows. It's full open source. We open sourced all components, and I'm going to show you in a second how that looks like. We had it audited, so it comes with a full audit report. And yeah, that's basically it. And the question is, why do we need another wallet? Simply because the other onboarding solutions to crypto have too much friction. When you want to onboard users, when you say you want to have a sign up for your platform and you want to onboard users with MetaMask, then you need to tell them, hey user, go to metamask.io. Don't go to metamask.com. I know there's another site, but don't download that wallet. Go to metamask.io. Then you see a little fox that follows your mouse. Then you install a little plugin, and then you follow that setup procedure first. Yeah, I know that you need a seed phrase, but I don't want to explain what is a seed phrase. But don't lose your seed phrase, but also don't take it too serious right now. You just want to come to Morpher and trade your stuff and so on. So you get this friction. With Fortmatic, we had other frictions. With Portis, we had frictions. So we wanted to have a wallet solution that has no friction, that basically feels like a regular Web 2.0 sign-up, but is essentially a Web 3.0 sign-up where you have your own wallet. And then you can slowly educate users about how to back up, how to do all this stuff. So that is basically the reason and what we built and how does it work. On the front-end side, we have a little Vue.js app that generates seed phrases, that encrypts the seed phrases with passwords. And on the backend, we basically have a regular store that stores the encrypted seed phrase and retrieves it when the user tries to log in. And in between our wallet and the regular app, we do it with an iframe. That is a common practice. But the question is what is running in the iframe, and that's our own wallet, so it's fully customizable. Yeah, that's basically the intro. And I would say just jump right into the code, if that is okay for you.
Yeah, I think just before you jump into the code, that sounds really exciting that one of the big issues that projects face in the crypto world is adoption, going from those crypto enthusiasts to those on the other side of the spectrum that may not have any idea actually what goes on in the crypto world. So trying to smooth out this onboarding process, I think, is like one of the big keys in bringing this forward. So it's really excellent to hear that that's the main focus that Morpher is focusing on with this wallet.
Yeah. It has been really troublesome for us. It's, the users that are trying to come to the platform, we just lose them in the process. So on the one hand, you have the sign-up process. On the other hand, you have every trade where you have to sign transactions because you're interacting with a blockchain. You have pop-ups appearing. Because our own token is an ERC20 token, and that's what you're interacting with. But you also need Ether because you need to pay for the gas costs. And on our sidechain, the Ethers are, they're not real Ether. You cannot move the Ether from our sidechain to the main chain. You move the Morpher token, the ERC20 token with a bridge. So users come back and say like, hey, I have Ether in my sidechain. Why can't I withdraw them? And yeah, well, because those Ether, they are not like real Ether. What do you mean they are not real Ether? Like, you need to explain all those things to users that do not know that stuff, and then they assume things, and you get into these situations where you really cannot explain it anymore. So we tried to find a way around that, and I think we found it with an actual wallet solution. So how do you get to this wallet? Let me open up a fresh Google Chrome. Go to GitHub. And then to Morpher-io. And over here you find a public repository for the Morpher wallet. And basically all you have to do is like clone the repository and you're good to go. There are a couple of components in there. And I actually have cloned this over here. I don't know if you can see my screen. Let me make it bigger. Can you still see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So it comes basically packed with everything that you need to get started developing. If you have Docker installed, all you basically need to do is type in docker compose up. So let me just do this over here one time. I just started it before because I prepared for this meeting, but let's docker compose up. And it will start, it will create the containers, it will download Node Alpine containers, and it will start other things like npm install in the correct folders and so on. And at the end, you should be good to go with Vue.js on the front end and a backend that runs in Node.js and a Postgres database that hosts the database. So that's basically the basic components that you can find in the Docker Compose YAML file, and that is fairly standard for every developer, I assume, out there that want to get started with this. So all the Docker Compose does, it glues them together. You could also go in and just start, your backend with npm run start and your Vue.js with npm run start, and then you have them running locally. But we found it's nice to have like an easy onboarding for developers as well. So what happens next is that you will find an endpoint running on localhost 3001 for a Vue.js app, and that should actually work out of the box. And you have, well, let me actually log out here. And you should be greeted with this one. So you have a little wallet, and one of the biggest differences to the other wallets is that our wallet is a key store. It does one thing and one thing only, that is signing transactions. It is not connecting to any node. Which network you're connected to is totally up to the user. With other wallets, you have to give them some weird URI and you have to whitelist them. We don't do that. All we want to know is at which website we are connecting to, and whitelist them manually, because it's on a project basis right now. And we are in the very early phase of adoption for other projects. But that thing is basically a key store. So it generates keys, it stores keys, and it can decrypt the keys again. So what will happen if I try to sign up with some email at gmail.com? You can type in anything you want here. In the developer mode, it will not send any emails. So you create a wallet. It creates a key store on the front end, and then it will send the encrypted key store with your password back to the backend. The backend, actually your key store, is never transferred over the wire. So it's always only in your front end decrypted. It never hits anything outside of your browser when it's decrypted. It's very important for us that people understand that this wallet is not some delegated non-custodial. It is non-custodial. We're not taking your key store ever, and it's impossible for us on the back end to see what is inside unless we have your password. But we also made sure on the front end that the password is long and secure enough that it is unfeasible to start brute force attacks. Then we use, the classic salting mechanisms, and we have a key derivation with 10,000 rounds of SHA 256 and so on. So it should be okay to use the wallet in very large production environments. It should be secure enough to have it in actual projects that handle a lot of money, but it should be easy enough to actually help users on board. So here the user would receive an email with a 2FA code, and I will simulate that because in developer mode, we're not sending any emails. Instead, I'm getting the 2FA code directly from the database, so I can retrieve my encrypted seed. And you're in. That's as easy as that. So we have a couple of components here that we think make the life of users easy. We wanted to have it in a way that even if users forget their password, they are still able to retrieve their seed phrase, because sometimes you have a lot of money stored, on those addresses, on those private keys. And that's why we also added what we call recovery accounts. With recovery accounts, you can link your encrypted seed phrase to Google, Facebook, or vContact identity. What happens internally, that's now for developers' information. We are having an OAuth mechanism with Google on the front-end side. It fetches particular information about your user. It, on the front-end side, not on the back-end side, decrypts your seed phrase, re-encrypts it with that information that is only available if you have that OAuth key from the user with that identity, and sends it encrypted back to the backend where it's stored. And we are not getting that OAuth credentials ever on the backend, so we cannot really get to that information. If you want to recover it, same process. On the front end side, you go to select one of the services. It fetches the encrypted key store from the backend and tries to decrypt it with the information that you have from the social networks. I cannot do this here in developer mode. You would need to add the keys, but I can show it to you on our actual Morpher website if you want, if you still have time. How are we time-wise? Do we still have time?
Yeah, I think we'd have time for a quick demo. And so while you bring that up, I think this is a really interesting point that's hitting back on the key topic of the greater adoption of crypto tools like this with the general population. We know there's definitely that view that people want things to be completely decoupled and decentralized and just provided to the user for them to manage everything on their own. But seeing that there's these sort of solutions that manage key stores and sensitive information in a very secure way, and coupling it with tools that users already use is really interesting. And so it'll be really cool to see how Morpher clients and customers take this up, but then also how other developers could use this kind of open source solution in their own project.
Yeah. As I said, it's we wanted to open it up to other developers as well. We are in the early phases. We just finished implementing it for our own website. We have everything prepared that others can use it as well. And you could download the repository and start hosting your own wallet. But we also wanted to offer a hosted solution where you can basically just say npm install MorpherWallet and get your API key and start onboarding users for your own website. But this is where we actually wanted to get in touch with developers first and see if there is an actual need for the wallet before we start building that functionality. And we wanted also to see what kind of developers are we facing. Are we facing like beginner DApps? Are we facing really large platforms that need special kind of customizations and so on? So this is something that we're just currently opening up for others. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to register as a new user at Morpher. I'm going to say, I'm agreeing with the privacy policy and the terms of use. I'm creating a new wallet, and I'm just going to use a temp mail here for the sake of trying this on the video. Nice. I think I used that before. Let me start a new temp mail. Okay. I can actually show that to you. I'm using temp mail here. So I get a notification from MorpherWallet. You want to use your real email, obviously, not a temp mail, please. 2FA, and you're in. It's basically just verify that you have access to the email address in case something happens that we can reach you, and you're in. There's nothing to download. There's nothing to install. That's it. And when you sign up with Morpher, you get 100 Morpher token, but that's not the main point. The main point is whenever I want to trade something now, there's no pop-ups. There's nothing that like hinders the user experience flow. All that happens is now in my actual main app. I can show you the same thing with MetaMask, and then every time you hit trade, you have to hit the little sign button. You have MetaMask open up, and you see that you have Ether in your account, even though those Ether are just used for sending the transactions across the sidechain network. And I think that's huge in terms of user experience. That's like a massive thing. But you have the same options with every other wallet. You can go into settings and you can say export wallet, export the seed phrase. And guess what? You have that seed phrase over here that you could use with your MetaMask account, and just import it to MetaMask and use then MetaMask going forward, because what we're using at Morpher is your Ethereum address, not your email address. Is your Ethereum address. That's what we connect with your identity, and that's, I think, how it should be done across the web.
Yeah, this is excellent.
I'm at the end of my demo, and if you want to get in touch with us, we have a dedicated website for the wallet that we are just currently putting up. It's not even online yet. That's so hot this topic is. But we would be very happy to have developers actually go and hack a little bit on that wallet and tell us what they're using it for, and then maybe find a way to work together.
Excellent.
Stop
Really
this on
appreciate.
share.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate the time, Thomas, today to share Morpher, to share this wallet that's just been released. Great to hear that it's open for any developers to reach out, whether they want to use it for personal use or integration into their own projects. We'll definitely share links to that as part of this video. So again, from Block on Air, appreciate the time, and everyone out there, have a good day.
Yep. Bye.